Welcome to the Inferno.
This is Chris21 here, and I'm going to be talking about Inferno. Therefore, the meaning for Welcome to the Inferno. I'll be talking about different types of stuff that you can do with the Inferno deck. Different kind of decks, different kind of tests, different kinds of everything, basically. I'll be going from hopefully getting to talk to many of the Inferno players, and hopefully Vesicus, Forsyth, I think it is. I forget the numbers. I think it's just call, you know how I'm talking about Vesicus. Hopefully top 10, because I know he's a Inferno player too. Hopefully I'll be able to talk to him a little bit, like over PMs or something, be able to discuss with him about what types of Inferno that he likes, his play style, all that stuff. Also some other, some of my other Inferno people I've met online through YouTube and stuff like that. Hopefully I'll be able to talk to a few of them through messages, or maybe even through video chat that I can record. But yeah, let's just get started with this video. Well, this will be maybe split into a 3-part video about spells, traps, and monsters. Then I'll probably do monsters and extra deck in the same one, because it's kind of monsters. You don't really, there's not too much to talk about. But traps, there's quite a few things that I can talk about and rant about and discuss. So let's just get started with that first. I'll be showing you staples that you will want to run in an Inferno deck. Like, this is basically a guideline start of what you want to get in your Inferno deck if you are starting. Now, a few things I will discuss you may not like or agree with me. That's perfectly fine. Numbers of cards that you want to play is all player preference. I just give estimates about what you would want to play, because I've seen people play really, really good decks that I've lost to. Then I've also seen people play good decks that I've beaten that play the same amount of cards. Just it was a different type of play style. They did different combos and stuff. So let's get started right off with the big Kahuna, the big one that I really, really hate because of its price tag, and a lot of people agree with me. Inferno Barrier. Inferno Barrier. This card, I'm pretty sure all the Inferno players out there will agree with me. This card should not be $30 at all. Infernos are not a tier deck anymore. They're not even on the radar. They have they've gotten 2 top 6 teams in the past year. And I'm not even sure. I mean, I know the Japanese one, they only ran 1 barrier. It's like, this card should not be $30. This card should be a $10, $15 card, just because it's kind of a hard card to get, because it's a little bit older secret rare, so it's kind of harder to get. There's never been a reprint, so that's why I consider it 10 to 15. 15 for first ed, $10 for a unlimited. Then damage and all that stuff will obviously affect the price from there. But that's what I honestly value these cards at. I mean, I've traded probably $20, $25 for this. I honestly value it at 15. I just needed it, and I wasn't gonna try to rip the guy off. I mean, he gave me a pretty good deal on it for the price that it has been. I had a perfect word for it before. What is it? I'll just use granted. The price that this card has been granted or a set, whatever, should not be it. And someone that's wanting $30 for one, no, this card's not worth $30 at all. There's no way that this card's worth $30. If you know anything about business and market and any of that stuff about supply and demand and all that, you know this card's not worth $30 at all. So that's my little spat about this. I mean, it is a good card. Run 2 or 3 in your deck, depending on what you have your deck set up to do. Which I'll talk about the different variants in a different video. But right now, right now, if you're a beginner, go on Dueling Network, play 3. Then as you get more practice with it, you can decide if you want to take it down to 2 or you keep it at 3. This card got a little bit popular with Inferno players due to priority. Inferno Break. Inferno Break you will want to run at 2 or 3. I played at 2 because I think 3 is a little bit too much. I wouldn't use it. It's like Inferno Barrier. I don't really use the third one, but it's nice to have. This one, it's okay. Have it 3. I just think that's a little bit too much because there's just so much stuff you want in your deck. And 2 is just it's just enough because it's like you use this one, you can pay the cost of that one. So it's like 2 is a good number for this. But it's like it's basically a bottomless that can be used on anything at any time after the turn was set, of course. But the next card that I want to talk about that you need to run if you're playing Inferno is Starlight Road. Starlight Road you have to play because of Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, all this stuff. You need at least 1. Actually, you don't want to really run more than 1 because if you run more than 1, it's going to be dead a lot. I mean a lot. I mean you're just going to have it set. I mean I find myself doing this because my opponent's not heavy storing me. They summon, Trench of Tribute, chain this, get Stardust Dragon now. So, yeah. And the controversial card of Infernities isn't Barrier, surprisingly. It's Inferno. This card is very controversial because Inferno players say this card's good. A lot of them will say it's bad. I am on the in-between. It's good at 1. I believe it's good at 1 because it gives you a little bit more discarding power and a little bit more graveyard setup, which is always a nice thing to have. Especially late game to have the discarding ability. Also, it's another target for break, so you don't have to waste a barrier on a pointless thing. But it's a very nice thing to have. At least at 1, but if you run this at 3, you are relying on it too much, and you need to rethink your deck because what if they stop this with a judgment? What are you gonna do? I mean, yeah, you're gonna get the discard at the cost, but then it's like, what else are you gonna do? So, yeah, this card is very controversial. I say run it at 1, and if you find yourself needing a little bit more graveyard setup, run it. Go to 2. I've seen Beetle builds running at 2. I mean, 2's okay, maybe pushing it a little bit, but I think 1 is fine. It's perfectly fine to run 1 Inferno. I mean, late game, this card isn't very good. Just because it's like I mean, if you have Scrap Dragon, it could be an okay card because you just set it, pop it with Scrap Dragon, and go, hey, it's not that pointless anymore. So, if you run Scrap Dragon, it's not. If you run Scrap Dragon, none of your tri-cards are dead. I mean, none of them, because you just pop them and yeah. So, it is good to run Scrap Dragon in Infernities just because. If you're playing a stall deck, you're not going to be using a lot of your back row, so you're going to want to get Scrap Dragon out the very first turn. because you're going to be wanting to pop their monsters, popping their back row, and just going off on them because you don't want your back row set up. Because, like, honestly, this is basically what you'll be able to do if you run an Inferno and you're playing Assault deck. Step 5, summon a monster. Pass. Phase set 3, set a monster and pass. You draw a card. It's a spell or trap card. You look at your thing. It's like, I can't activate any of those. So you have to try to figure out how to get Scrap Dragon out to get rid of your back row, because your opponent won't be pushing for you to use your trap cards that you just set. So yeah, that's why Scrap Dragon's pretty good, especially if you're playing a stall deck, which are very popular right now because of the slower meta. So that is really, I'm leaving out staples like Bottomless, Judgment, Call. I run 2 Call. You can run 1. Call isn't really a staple card in it. You don't have to run this. Like, it's another target for Scrap Dragon if you need it. Like, you use it, sink, but it's another target. But Call's really a player preference card. I've seen people not run it. I've seen people run it at 3, run 1. I run 2 just because, I mean, I don't get it a lot, but if I do get it, it's nice to have. Because, like, I send something to my grave, activate it, special summon it, do something. Also, Impulse and Phoenix Chain are also nice to have. Either in the main or the side, they're always nice. These 2 cards are always nice to have. Just because you can't run hand traps, so you kind of want to main a Phoenix Chain. Just so you can negate the effect, like Rabbit, Tour Guide, something like that. Then this, obviously, an obvious reason why you want it, hit seeds, synchros off the field. So yeah. Those are just like staples that you would, I mean, Call of Hunt really isn't, but like, these are like staples. I mean, if you want to run Judgment, go right ahead. I just don't like it as a player, so I don't run it. I do see the advantage of it. I'm not stupid or blind. I see the advantage of having the summon negated versus just removing the card. So yeah, that is it for the trap cards. I'll be talking in the next video about spells. It's Crystalline 21. Think 2 steps ahead, play 1 step back, and you'll never go wrong. Peace.